Hi everyone, my name is Tanalakshmi Karupaya, and today I'm going to give a short talk on contingency leadership theories and how it can be applied in 21st century. First of all, let's look at contingency leadership theory. According to this theory, there is no standard rule for leadership, meaning to say that leadership style depends on the situation a leader is in. A leader's effectiveness depends whether his style fits the situation. According to this theory, an individual or a leader can be effective in one circumstance, but the same leader might not be effective in another situation. Therefore, to ensure that the leaders are productive at all times, the theory suggests that leaders assess his ability, assess his leadership style, assess the situation that he's in, and decide whether the leadership style is going to be effective in that situation. So in general, this requires a leader to be self-aware, to be objective, and also to be adaptable. In short, we can say that there's no one style that would fit in all situations. There's no one leadership style that can create the same impact in all situations. Well, that is the base of contingency leadership theory. Now let's look at 21st century leaders. 21st century leaders constantly face so much challenges. They are expected to be agile, flexible, to have cross-cultural understanding, to know about the Industrial Revolution, to keep up with the pace of change. With so much challenges lying ahead, we can conclude that 21st century leaders are going through various changes in their situation. 21st century leaders are facing a variety of followers. This is how contingency leadership theory helps 21st century leaders. Let's take Fiedler's contingency model as an example for this explanation. According to this model, leadership style does not change. Well, Fiedler believes that a leader with, for example, a task-oriented leader can never quickly change his leadership style in a short period of time. With Fiedler's approach, leadership style is fixed. So, there are other variables that a leader has to assess in order to find the most favorable situation. So the three variables, according to Fiedler, that leaders have to assess would be the relationship between the leader and the follower, the task structure, whether it is well defined or not, and the positional power that the leader has. These three variables decides whether his leadership style would suit the situation or not. To put it simple, there are a few basic steps. First, leaders of 21st century, identify your leadership style. This, if we take Fiedler's contingency theory or Fiedler's contingency model as our example. So, understanding leadership style would help us to know which situation would be most favorable to us. Secondly, we assess the situation. How do we assess the situation? We look at our relationship with the follower, whether we have good relationship or poor relationship. Next, we look at the task itself, whether it's well structured, not structured. And third, we look at the power that we have as a leader. By assessing these three variables and with our leadership style, Fiedler has created a layout to decide whether we are in a favorable situation or unfavorable situation. According to Fiedler's contingency model, if a leader is in a favorable situation, that leadership style that he has would be effective. So the next step is to decide whether the leadership style that the leader has suits the situation that he has assessed. Let's take example. If a leader is a task-oriented leader and he assesses the situation, he finds that he has poor relationship with the followers. The task is not well structured, but he has the power. According to Fiedler, in that situation, a task-oriented leader is placed in an unfavorable situation. So the next step would be delegating the job to the right type of leader. In that case, a relation-oriented leader would be the best person to handle that situation. If not, a leader has to change the situation. How do we change the situation? As I said before, if the leader is a task-oriented person, he has a poor relationship with his follower, the task is not structured, but he has the power. By restructuring the task, by defining the task-oriented leader places himself in a favorable situation. That would make his leadership style more effective. So, 21st century leaders, whenever they overcome situations, they assess, they look at these three variables, they see whether it matches their leadership style and make the right decision either by delegating or changing the situation itself. By constantly doing this, a leader would be able to be successfully lead the organization, handle the situation. So this is how contingency leadership theory can be implemented. Having said that, thank you very much for listening to me.